Hey, welcome back to Postal Barbecue. I'm Jabin Postal, and today at the grill, I'm gonna be making some amazing bacon wrapped chicken wings, and I know that you're gonna love them for sure. So, other than that, let's get into the cook. As I said, welcome back to Postal Barbecue. I appreciate you being here. Today at the grill, I'm going to be cooking up these delicious bacon wrapped chicken wings. And if you've never done bacon wrapped chicken wings before, you're in for a treat. This is just a fun cook. It's not something that you're going to do all the time, but really makes for a fun variation when it comes to chicken wings. And as you can see, there isn't a lot of ingredients that you need for this recipe. We have our chicken wings, we got the flats and the drums. And for this recipe, my preference is actually to use the flats. So if you can find all flats, that's going to make for a really fun cook for you. And so we also have our bacon as some hot sauce. And today I'm going to be using a combination of the original rub as well as a little bit of the Mad Cow to pull this all together. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this red hot and I'm going to just slather these wings in this sauce, and this is going to add a little bit of extra spice, a little bit of extra flavor, because when it comes to time to cooking these wings, I'm not going to actually apply any hot sauce or sauce like that to these wings. There we go. Those are nice and coated. And so, as I said, I am going to be seasoning these chicken wings today with my Postal Barbecue original rub. And I'm going to sprinkle on just a light coating onto this because we are adding that bacon. It is going to add some of those salts and that flavor that we're looking for. And so just keep that in mind so that you don't over season your wings. All right, that looks perfect to me. And so with our wings all seasoned, I'm gonna grab my bacon and we're gonna start to wrap these chicken wings. And so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna start with my flats. And like I said, I prefer to do flats with these because the bacon just fits so nicely just with a half a strip of bacon. And so what I like to do is I'm going to just grab my bacon and I'm gonna pull it just slightly, fold it over, and just like that, we have our chicken wing wrapped in that bacon. It looks amazing. Okay, let me do one more for you. I'm gonna place our chicken wing face down. I'm gonna fold that over, give it a little bit of a pull, and stretch it over. And then you're left with a nice bacon wrapped chicken wing. And so when it comes to doing your drums, I like to use a full piece of bacon on this drum because if you're only using a half slice of bacon, there's a chance that it's gonna slide down that bone, and that's what you don't want. And so what I'm gonna do with this one is I'm gonna start on the bottom and I'm gonna wrap all the way around, nice and tight, all the way to the end of this bone. There we go, just look at that. And so let me just finish off wrapping these chicken wings. Right, so it's only taken a few minutes to finish wrapping these chicken wings in our bacon. I do have a few extras, and so I'm just gonna throw them on the grill. They may come off a little bit earlier than the other ones, but the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit them with a little bit of the Mad Cow rub just on the top. Again, I don't want to go very heavy with this. It's just to add a little bit of color and a bit of texture to that bacon as it cooks. With our bacon wrapped chicken wings all prepared, let me show you how I set up the grill for today's cook. So to set up the grill today, I placed in about a full chimney basket of unlit briquettes, and I got those fully lit using my grill blazer gun, and then I closed the lid and let that temperature come up to around 325 degrees. So with the grill sitting around 325 degrees, let's go ahead and get these bacon wrapped chicken wings onto the grill opposite the coals. So with our chicken wings on the grill, the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add on a little bit of hardwood. Today I'm using some cherry wood because I really enjoy the flavor of cherry when it comes to chicken wings. And so with everything on the grill, I'm gonna close up this lid and I'm gonna start smoking these chicken wings for about 30 minutes to start with. They are gonna take more time than that for sure. But at that point, I wanna come back and just check up on our bacon to see how it's tightening up, to see the color, and at that point decide if it's gonna need a flip or not. And so we'll come back at around that 30-minute mark. All right, I just hit the 30-minute mark, and so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna open up the grill. I'm gonna take a look at the color, how crispy or tight that bacon is, as well as I'm gonna just give an internal temperature reading on the wings just to see how much more time they might need. So let's go take a look. Guys, just look at that bacon. You can see that it's firming up quite nicely. It's got a little bit of color from that cherry wood that we put on. They smell absolutely phenomenal. But one thing I do want to show you is that when I pick up one of these wings, the top is a little bit tight, but the bottom is still a little bit soggy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip all of these wings over to allow that bacon on the underside to also tighten up and get a little bit of extra color and flavor. And then lastly, I'm going to take my digital thermometer. I'm going to read the internal temperature. We've got 168, 152, and 162. And so technically these wings are either done or close to it, but the bacon isn't yet. We want that bacon to be tight and crispy and delicious. So I'm gonna let these cook for another 10 minutes time. And then at that point, I'm gonna come back because I wanna finish these wings off on the presentation side up so that that bacon gets nice and crispy, tight, and absolutely delicious. So it's been another 10 or 12 minutes of cooking, and our kettle has been locked in around 325 degrees the entire cook. It's been great using the Sloans here. And so I'm gonna open up the grill and just take a look at this. You can see that the bacon on the underside has firmed up a little bit more, but again, we wanna flip these one last time so that that top presentation side of the wing is fully done. Guys, these smell absolutely amazing right now. And that bacon is rendering down perfectly. So I'm gonna close up this lid and I'm gonna continue to cook these not by time, but rather by doneness. I want that bacon to be firm, a little bit crispy and bite through, absolutely delicious. And so I'll bring you back when these wings are all done. I'll pull them off the grill and then we'll get ready for the taste test. Okay guys, it only took about an hour total time to get these bacon wrapped wings the way I like them. You can see they've got some amazing color on them. That bacon has firmed up. It's a little bit crispy, so I know these are gonna be bite through delicious. All right, so this guy here has been calling my name. And remember when I told you I enjoy the flats when it comes to this recipe? This is why. When you feel the ends of your flats, you have this side, which you feel one bone, and this side you feel two. You grab the side that has the double bone and you press down, just like that, and now it becomes a chicken wing lollipop. It's so good. And so all you do is pop this back and enjoy it. Oh man, this is so good. Guys, I'm not joking. Just when you thought that wings couldn't get any better, a bacon wrapped wing shows up and they are phenomenal. You get that bit of spice from that we put on there to begin with. You get that rub, and then the bacon really shines through, really putting these wings over the top. And so I'm gonna grab this drum, I'm gonna dip it in this little bit of a sauce I made. It's just a combination of some mayo, and a little bit of barbecue sauce. And so let's go for the taste with this here. Oh man, that is over the top delicious. You know, this is a really great option when it comes to wings. It's a great party food. It's great when you're just out on the back patio with your buddies having a couple beers. Whether you make it like this with just our barbecue rub, or if you pair it with a nice sauce like what I've done here. So I'm gonna go ahead, have a few more of these, but I really hope you give them a try for yourself. So that's how you make those amazing bacon wrapped chicken wings for your next feast. You're gonna love them for sure. Until next time, keep that fire lit and get cooking. Hey, welcome back to Postal Barbecue. I'm Jabin Postal, and today at the grill, we're making up some amazing smoked ribs with Alabama white sauce, which is gonna blow you away. Now than that, let's get into the cook. As I said, welcome back to Postal Barbecue. I appreciate you being here. Today at the grill, we're going to be making some delicious Alabama white sauce rib singles that are absolutely wonderful and are going to make a great party food or just appetizer when you get together with friends and family over the summertime. And this recipe is simple to do. The only thing that I really have to start out with is some baby back ribs, as well as all of my spices and seasonings for making our Alabama white sauce. And when it comes to choosing your back ribs, I always like to choose a more meaty back rib because we are cutting them down into single rib pieces for this recipe, and it just provides a more meaty bite with the end result. And so with these back ribs today, I haven't done anything to them. The membrane is still on. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the back of a spoon or just a butter knife is fine too. And I'm going to wedge this underneath the membrane. Get my finger under there. And I'm going to remove this membrane completely. There we go. And so with my membrane removed, I'm now going to slice these into rib singles just by following the curve of the bone. Just like that. There we go. So just take a look at these rib singles now. You can see that there's a lot of meat on that bone. And the advantage of doing it this way is, one, you get that presentation of being more party food, but these ribs are also going to cook a little bit faster than if we left them intact, as well as we're going to get a little more flavor on the entire outside of these ribs because we have more surface area for our rub and that sauce to really get onto these ribs, making them absolutely delicious. So when it comes to seasoning these ribs today, we want to keep those flavors a little bit more neutral. A salt, pepper, garlic blend is a great choice. So I do find that when you're seasoning ribs that are cut into singles, you don't want to put as much of the rub on as you might normally put a rack of ribs because you're seasoning the entire surface area versus just the top and the bottom. So go a little bit lighter than you might normally go with some ribs, or if you have a low salt rub, that's going to go really great with this recipe as well. There we go. It's as simple as that. And so with our back ribs all prepared and ready for the grill, let me show you how I set up the slow and sear kettle for cooking between 250 and 275 degrees. So to set up our grill today for cooking, I placed in about 20 briquettes into the slow and sear, and I got those coals fully lit. Next, I filled up the remainder of the slow and sear basket, and then I closed the lid and allowed that temperature to stabilize between 250 and 275 degrees. Okay, so my grill is set up between 250 and 275 degrees, and I'm going to place my rib singles onto the grill opposite the coal. So we're cooking with indirect heat and allowing the smoke to really penetrate into these ribs to add a ton of extra flavor. So let's get them into the grill. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a little bit of hickory wood to add some smoky flavor to these ribs. That's that in. I'm going to close up this lid, and it's going to take about 3 hours of smoking these ribs for them to get nice and tender and bite off the bone. And so we'll come back about halfway through, give them a flip, a little bit of a spritz, and then make our white sauce. Okay, so our ribs have been smoking away for just over an hour and a half now, and the ambient temperature inside the grill has been rock steady around 260 degrees. And so I'm going to open up the grill. I'm going to first give them a spritz using a combination of half water, half apple cider vinegar, and then we're going to give them a flip just to promote some even cooking. So let's go take a look. Just look at these ribs. They got some really nice color on them, and you can see that some of the fats that are inside those ribs are starting to render out. I'm going to spritz these first. There we go. And then I'm going to quickly flip them around. And like I said, this is going to help promote some even cooking. We're going to get some nice color on both sides of these ribs. And I'm also going to give it one last spritz. So I'm going to quickly close up this lid again, and I'm going to continue to cook this for another hour to hour and a half until those ribs become bite-through tender, so they just pull right off the bone and with every bite. They're going to be absolutely delicious. While our ribs are finishing cooking in the kettle grill, I'm gonna go ahead and make our Alabama white sauce. And if you've never had Alabama white sauce, this is one of those recipes you need to try out. To start out with, I'm gonna start with 1 cup of mayonnaise. So I'm gonna place that into my bowl. And then to that, I'm gonna add in 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. Next, I'm going to add in the juice of 1 lime, and oftentimes you see lemon used in this recipe. I actually prefer to use lime, and partly because I always have limes kicking around the house, and so 1 freshly squeezed lime is going to be added to this. Next, I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon of horseradish. Maybe we'll go a little bit more than that. There we go. And then lastly, I have 1 tablespoon of black pepper as well as 1/2 tablespoon of sugar. And so I'm gonna dump that in there. And then I'm just gonna mix this all together thoroughly. And you know, this is the consistency that I'm looking for. You can see that it's fairly thin with still a little bit of body to it. And this is gonna be absolutely perfect when it comes time to putting it on these ribs. I've just now hit the 3-hour mark of this cook, and the smell back here is so good. You can really smell that smoke and the ribs really just coming together in a nice way. And so let's go ahead and open up the grill and just see how they look. Guys, just look at how nice the color is on there. You can see that the smoke has really adhered nicely to these ribs. The aroma's great. And so one of the things that I'm looking for is this bone pullback here. On the singles, it's a little bit harder to tell when they're done because you can't do a bend test or a pull test. But what you can see here with the bone pullback is exactly what we're looking for. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna grab my bowl, put them all in there, then I'm gonna toss them in our Alabama white sauce. So I'm just gonna spray this into our bowl, get a nice coating on there, and then I'm just gonna mix these up. Guys, just look at the color on these ribs. They look and smell phenomenal, but they're not quite done yet. I'm gonna place them back onto the grill for about 10 minutes to allow that sauce to set up. Let's close this back up. And as I mentioned, I'm gonna let this cook for another 10 minutes to allow that sauce to set up nicely, and then we'll come back and get ready for the taste test. All right, so in just over 3 hours, these Alabama rib singles are all done, and they smell absolutely phenomenal. The aroma, the presentation, oh my goodness, I can't wait for the taste test. And you know, not gonna lie to you, I did have a taste of one of the ribs without the sauce on it, just to see how it was with the barbecue rub, and it is amazing. I really enjoyed this rub already. With that said, I'm gonna grab one of these and go for the taste test. This one here has been calling my name. I did go ahead and drizzle some of that extra sauce on there, and oh my goodness, I can't wait. Let's go for the taste test. Oh my goodness, amazing, absolutely amazing. You know, there's a reason why Alabama white sauce is so good. It's rich, it's tangy, it's peppery, it's all things good, especially when paired with something like chicken. But when you throw it on some ribs like this, it's out of this world delicious. The flavor is rich, it's smoky, it's tangy, it's peppery, it's absolutely phenomenal. So if you've never tried Alabama white sauce on ribs before like this, make sure to give it a try because you won't be disappointed. The flavor is outstanding, and it might just be your new favorite dish. So that's how you make those smoky and delicious Alabama white sauce ribs for your next feast. You're gonna love them for sure. So until next time, keep that fire lit and get cooking.